If you're looking to create your first website and you don't want to get very technical with WordPress or self-hosting or anything of that sort, you probably are looking at either Squarespace or Wix, which are two of the most popular and largest website builders on the internet. Now, I've used both of these, I made tutorials on both of them, and in this video, I want to break down the similarities and differences to help you decide which one is actually the best for your specific needs. Now, everybody will have a different answer to this. Some people are making blogs, some people e-commerce, some people just want to get a quick website for maybe a wedding or a photo album to share with your friends. Whatever you are trying to do may have a different need and you are going to have different answer to this question. So I want to break down the differences to help you decide for yourself which one is actually the best one for you. Now, right off the bat, the first thing that you are going to notice when you use either one of these platforms is the editor is drastically different on these. The way you edit websites is they fundamentally put them together is completely different in many ways. Now, the biggest difference really is going to be that Wix is much more free form. Wix gives you much more options to place things wherever you want. It's drag and drop, so you just go to the menu on the left and select anything you want to be tagged, like it could be a button, it could be an image, whatever it is, and just drag and drop anywhere you want on the canvas. Place it there and you can put things on the top of it, you can move things around, and it's really customizable in that sense. So both of these website builders, you can start with the template. You don't have to go with Wix, you can make your own. But assuming that you are starting with the template with either one of them, you can definitely customize it much more with the Wix. So you can do a lot more with that. Now, Squarespace on the flip side is a little bit less freeform, a little bit more structured and curated, where it's not going to be the drag and drop, but rather sort of a grid system already set up with things already there from the template. And if you want to remove things, you are going to be deleting blocks and then kind of clicking on the lines there and adding new blocks. And this gets a little bit tricky if you are trying to change a lot about your template. If you like your template and you just want to dump information in, both Wix and Squarespace will work. But like I'm saying, if you are trying to really customize it, it's going to be a little tougher on the Squarespace. So if you want to take an image and put it in the middle or right on the right side, what you actually have to do is add spacers to the left or above it and things like that. So you can't just drag and drop, you are going to be adding spacers and things of that nature. So for that reason, I think Wix seems to be a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more easier to quickly understand. Just drop everything in there and customize it as you want. Now, another benefit with Wix is actually the ability of kind of start your website early and not just put it out there right away. So this comes in two different ways. The first way is that you can create your website and start doing things before you even publish. And then once you publish, if you want to, you can go back and make few changes if you like. And it's not like it's all live publishing. You can save things and keep things iterating. And then when you are ready to publish, you can publish your whole website out there. Now, Squarespace, you will be doing a little bit more like a live publishing thing. Now, part two is actually that Wix has the free website builder, whereas Squarespace, you need to have subscription. So with Wix, you can have a free website out there where it's like mike.wix.com/my-first-website or something like that. You are going to have a domain that's not custom, but what we do get to do is actually have a website that's ad supported out there. And this allows you to create more content, fill up your website a little bit more and then upgrade to a premium site. Obviously, I always recommending upgrading to a premium site, but Squarespace on the flip side makes you do that right off the bat. If you're making a Squarespace website, you might get like a 7-day free trial. Maybe then after that you have going to be upgrade to publish your site and upgrade to just not lose all of your content. So speaking of losing all your content, there are two things to talk about here with Wix. One of them is you cannot actually change your template without losing all of your content with Wix. This is something that you want to keep in mind when you are choosing your template. Make sure you pick one that actually looks good. Otherwise, you will be either A, entirely losing all of your content to pick a different template, or B, to spend a lot of time reconstructing your website. So for that reason, it's very important to choose the right one right off the bat. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is that the Wix you actually have the option to get backup and restore feature, where you can kind of roll your website back if you ran into issues or if anything happened. You can go back and find recent versions of the website and reinstate that version. So from what I've said so far, it probably sounds like Wix is the clear choice, but honestly, it's really not. Now, I want to talk about some things that Squarespace is better at. The first one may seem small, but can definitely be important, is actually the e-com world. So e-commerce seems to be a little bit more better, in my opinion, on the Squarespace for several reasons. They really just have a very easy setup for your store, and I show that in my tutorial of it. But also they have some other features in here that are a little bit tougher to find them when you're trying to make website. Now Squarespace offers these things, and this is a little customized email receipts for somebody, gift cards, taxes, and all kind of stuff. Essentially everything you will need when you're hosting your own store on Squarespace. They do, they have it all there. It is really easy for you to use. Now Wix, you can still do a lot of things, but I haven't seen like customized email receipts and some other things. But those are a little bit, maybe you can do that, but it's definitely a little bit more hidden and trickier than it is on the Squarespace. So if you are looking to make an e-com website, I think I would recommend Squarespace for the most part. Of course, unless you are reconstructing a lot and you really want to customize things, obviously Wix is a good choice for that. Now the next thing to talk about is actually blogging. Blogging is really what puts Squarespace on the map. So they have some excellent features in there. If you're trying to host a blog and you want something with like multi-author, you want post tagging, you want things like schedule post and all that, there are a lot of other features that are baked into the Squarespace that really gives you a little bit of an edge when you're trying to make a blog. Now Wix on the other hand is actually very simple to make blog posts. You just go in there. It's like very much like when you're creating a website, you just create a new post and you can do most of the stuff that you want to do. As far as SEO is concerned with this, with having like URL sludges and things like that. But so for the most part, you can get a blog, you can get everything done with Wix that you need to as far as blogging goes. But Squarespace gives you a couple of extra tools to make things a little bit more powerful. So like multi-author is a big thing for me. A lot of people talk about it, and it's something that you have a team of people, then Squarespace might be the choice that you're looking for. Now considering that you're just starting out with your website, it probably doesn't matter that much. I imagine most people starting off probably don't already have a team of writers, but regardless, it is something to consider if you are planning on getting a lot bigger. An extremely important thing to consider when making a website is your traffic, and more specifically two different things. The first one is actually what devices people are using when they visit your website. And because more and more people are using mobile devices, you really want to consider between the Wix and the Squarespace, which one has better option for mobile site. Your mobile site will extremely important for almost any content niche out there. And so for me, I personally prefer the mobile editor on the Wix. I think that they do a better job for this. They make things a little cleaner, a little easier to see, and a little bit easier to remove sections and add sections as needed. Now for that reason, I do think Wix is a little bit better with the mobile site. But another thing to think about is also the search engine optimization or the SEO. So again, with traffic, you want to think about where the traffic is coming from. So not only what device, but where it is coming from. And in most cases, people find your website from Google, and because they are finding it on the Google, you want to make sure that your blog posts, pages, your articles, and your store, whatever you're doing, is optimized for Google to find it and post it or list it higher in the search rankings. So you want to make sure that you have the SEO fully ready to go, and you want to have a robust system for that. Now that was pretty long-winded, but what I'm getting at is Wix has generally better SEO tools than the Squarespace. So if you are trying to rank higher on the Google, I generally think that Wix does a great job by giving you tools with their SEO and just doing a lot of other things that allows you to rank higher on the Google. Now that is not to say that you cannot rank with Squarespace website. Honestly, there are many websites that uses Squarespace and ranked on Google and do very well, especially with blogs. But for me personally, I just find that Wix editor allows you to do a little bit more search engine optimization, which gives you better chances at ranking higher in the Google. Ultimately, it comes down to your content though. If you have great content, you are going to rank higher in the Google than otherwise would. So it's not always about which one has better SEO tools. Another big win for Wix is the massive library of apps they have that you can integrate in your website very easily just by clicking on the menu on the left. Now you can add apps on the Squarespace as well, but it generally requires a few more steps and you are going to be pasting codes in there. So Wix makes that significantly easier. Now as far as the pricing goes between these two, I think they both come in at almost same price. So I've seen it sometimes as Wix as $1 more per month, sometimes Squarespace. So I don't want to comment on that. I've seen other videos and blogs out there where people show you the price, but they honestly change so much that I think what would be better if I'll just put down the link in the description so you can check it out from there. If you guys want to see the latest prices, you can go down there, maybe upgrade your site if you want to today. But essentially between the two, which one is actually the best? So I would say it comes down to this. If you're looking to build a custom website, if you really want to spend more time and make your website more unique than just what a template has to offer, I think Wix is a no-brainer. I personally like Wix for most websites out there, but if you're still somebody who has an online e-com store, yes, you can customize it, but I do think Squarespace has more extra tools that is really nice to use. So between the two, for that, I would tend towards Squarespace, but I would say it's definitely not necessary. Again, if what Wix are showing is attractive to you, go with Wix, obviously. Now, if you're looking to make a blog, I think it is actually pretty similar. The blogging tools are a little bit more advanced on the Squarespace, but the ability to customize your website and SEO on your website is a little bit more advantageous for Wix. Guys, I think that they are both very powerful tools. I prefer Wix for my websites, but comment down below, let me know which one you would prefer and why. As always guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.